How to actually build a great looking pitch deck in Claude Design from one prompt. All the export options and which one you should use. Exactly what happens when it lands in PowerPoint. And the list of tips so your own AI deck survives the trip to Microsoft Suite. All Claude Design slides, best practices in one place. I'm Vika, a product designer with more than 10 years of building real interfaces. Today I'm testing two things every designer actually cares about. Can you trust what ends up on the slides? And can you get it into the PowerPoint and Google slide without it falling apart? Let's build the deck and find out. So to test slides properly, I need real content, not lorem ipsum. And we'll be creating a pitch deck. It's a perfect test. It forces every kind of slide, big numbers, charts, a market slide, product shots, a team page. So I invented a brand, Momo, a craft sparkling soda. First, I generated the brand itself in ChatGPT image. The logo, the 4can designs, the color palette, lifestyle shots, even a brand board with the fonts. Let's actually talk about prompt. Here you can see the overall prompt. So I divided it into sections and include all the information that I mentioned before. You can check it by yourself, but the overall thing is that I include this overview of my imaginary brand business, and I just leave it as it is. I give some numbers, I give some problems, I give some expectations. From this pile of content, Claude Design should generate slides by itself. I input prompt, selected slides, added all the assets I mentioned. One thing to point out, if you add too many files, Claude Design will automatically add only 10 first. If you want to add more than 10 files, select a folder. Now, let's run our prompt. Overall generation took some time, but here is our results, and I already thrilled to see how it looks like. Let's take a closer look. So one thing to mention right away, we have speaker notes. I didn't mention anything about this in prompt. If you need to present this deck with the speaker notes, you can specify it into prompt. We have the imagery, we have all the fonts and colors used. Let's click it through. I really like how it's styled, how it took the picture and added this gradient to make text more readable with all these highlights, the charts, different flavors highlights. This custom chart looked pretty interesting. Overall, it's a beautiful presentation. On the design side, really great. Let's talk about content more. So I gave Claude some rough information that I have, and it actually came up with the information on its own and filled up with some fake data. And you mentioned about this 6 grams of sugar, this 85% less than soda. Here I only gave 9 billion information, and that's all. And then here we have team. So I mentioned that I want to include 3 team members. So Claude supposed to add placeholders, but it didn't just add placeholders for pictures. It just come up with all the information, like none of these names of its description were mentioned in the prompt. So this is all fake data. Oh yeah, it came up with email and this website. So you need to check it yourself thoroughly if you are making for a real brand, or add the specification to make sure all the mock information would be highlighted in some way. Overall, the deck is really nice. Some pluses of Claude Design that we didn't need to come up with how it will be looking, how the structure of the deck will be. We just gave the information and our end goal of the deck, and we got this. Then we can use any Claude Design tool. We have like a lot of stuff here. We can edit information, like we can edit all these numbers and add anything that we want. Keep in mind that every edit, when you click save, will consume credits. You can also use annotation, so it works a bit differently. You need to choose the section where you want to add a comment, then click on it, annotate, and send to Claude. Okay, so we have our presentation, and now we want to work with it further. So to send it somewhere, we have this share button and different options here. First option is direct link for the deck, nothing extraordinary. We'll be interested in export option. So we have different things here. First one is PDF. If you click download PDF, you'll get open in the browser and you'll have trusty dusty PDF export through print. Here you can work with a preview and make sure your PDF is looking at least half decent. The next one is video. So keep in mind that it won't be working for decks. What I'm really interested in is PowerPoint export. So for the PowerPoint export, so when you choose PowerPoint export, you have these additional options. I tested all of them and you'll see the differences it high. The recommended option is using universal fonts. You just click on the option that you like and click download. Other options that we have here is editable custom fonts. The next thing is editable Google Slide fonts. And then the latest one, screenshot-based PPT. Let's see each of them inside the PowerPoint. We'll start from our recommended version. Here we are inside PowerPoint. All the information are here. It's fully editable. The font is close to what we had in Claude Design, but the local one, so we can edit all the text. But there are some artifacts. Like here and there, we have tags that didn't fit or just a bit broken. There are this kind of issues on multiple slides. This chart broke down as a whole. This one is looking decent. Some problems with spacing and some issues with the text being overlapped or didn't fit. Like another chart broken. I would say you need to stick to simple charts and then they'll be greatly exported into PowerPoint. Overall, I want to say that this is a great base. Your AI generated deck, you export it into PowerPoint, and now you can edit it in your familiar environment and maybe even work with colleagues as you always do. Now let's get back to all the other export options and how they differentiate from each other. Here is the custom font export. I didn't have these fonts installed on my computer on purpose, so inside PowerPoint, they all get replaced with some standard fonts. We still have editable text and we can add any information we like, but overall view changed. If you know that your brand has custom fonts and you already have them and you are planning to edit your deck with your company fonts, it could be a great option. Next one, I want to talk about the last option, the image export. So all the slides are looking exactly as they are in Claude Design, but you can't edit anything because this is all pictures. And they're combined in a bit specific way. So if you move the parts, you'll see that there are specifically 4 pictures on each slide. So that's how Claude Design handle export slides as images. Let's check how our deck will be looking in Google Slide. We have all the same information that we had inside the PowerPoint. It's looking pretty similar. Yes, the fonts are adapted to one of the available Google Slide families, but overall, the whole vibe is here. Text is adaptable and you can work with it in the slides. The issues that we had in PowerPoint are here in Google Slides as well, but that's the overall issues of export to PPT, I think. So just keep them in mind and apply the same rules that you will be applying for exporting to PowerPoint. Let's not forget that here we generated static presentation. So it's really good if you send it by email or we'll be printing it out. But one of the great advantages that Claude Design has is that you can write simple prompt and it will add all the animations to each slide. And that's what I did. Here is the animated version of the same deck. I specifically asked to add appearance, disappearance, some viable animation that Claude itself would see fitable and make them smooth and not really fast. But now is the real question, would it be imported into PowerPoint with all these animations? And here's what we've got with exporting animated deck. We have much more artifacts and much more mistakes and missed information right away. As you can see, second slide is half there, third slide as well. And things go on and on. So I think it depends on the animation on the slide and how it works. But yeah, overall, if you add animation inside Claude Design, it won't be exporting well into PowerPoint. But then the logical questions appears. What if you have created this beautiful deck with all the animation inside the Claude Design and now you want to share it with the world or showcase to your clients? What would be the best way to do it? And for this case, we have this option which calls Standalone HTML. So when you click this, it actually creates a standalone HTML file. It will run prompt here in the chat, and you'll have this button of download your standalone HTML. And here is how it will be looking saved. So here I have like all the different PowerPoint files, and I have this file called HTML. And when I open it, it opens in my browser. Here I can click through slides, and I have all the animations here, just like there were inside the Claude Design. I can share this file with anyone, or I can send it to someone, etc. I want to summarize a few tips of how to build a deck in Claude Design to make sure it exports smoothly into PowerPoint. First and foremost, tell it not to make things up. Literally, do not invent any names, numbers, or contact details. Where something is missing, leave a labeled placeholder or ask me. Don't animate in Claude Design, animate in PowerPoint, or skip the animation as whole. It's up to you. Keep charts simple. Not every chart exported well, and you need to keep that in mind. And lastly, don't hesitate to check everything yourself. In the end of the day, it's still a draft. Do a clean pass yourself. Overall, I would say Claude Design Slides is really great. You can build an awesome presentation in few minutes just by dropping the content you have. You have a different options of export, and if you want to export to PowerPoint, there are a few tricks that you need to keep in mind, but overall, it's a really good tool that saves a lot of time on creating slides. You can just edit it in PowerPoint to your liking later. If this was useful to you, the expert rabbit hole goes deeper. I ran the exact same test, taking Claude Design frames into Figma, with editable layers and all the details. You can check it right now. Full Momo prompt is below. Go build something, just check what it writes. Bye!